What would you do if you looked out your peephole and saw a man imitating your dog, trying to get into your house? What would you do if you checked your Ring doorbell camera and saw somebody you don't know staring directly into it at 3 a.m.? Reddit is an amazing resource for people all across the globe, but it also has dark recesses where people post disturbing content related to people creeping on them, trying to get into their house, and other strange things. Today, on the other side, we're going to dive into 3 disturbing Reddit posts. The subreddit of r/LetsNotMeet is a place where people share their terrifying true stories of encountering people that they never want to meet again. This story, shared by Flaxenflare about 7 years ago, is absolutely terrifying in my opinion. As a dog owner myself, this hits me to my core and makes me worried about my wife when I'm not home. A woman was alone and she let her dog out. Then she heard her dog scratching to come in, and then she goes to the door to let the dog in. But something, be it a sixth sense, intuition, just a chance encounter, stops her before she opens the door. Let's get into the story. My husband and I live in a small 2-floor house with 2 main entrances, one along the front and the other along the side of the house, which opens up into the laundry room. When we're too busy or it's too late to walk our dog, we hook his collar onto a long line that's attached to one of the pipes in the corner of the house, so he can use the bathroom. We used to do this from the front door in our laundry room, but we noticed the large step from the door to the ground had been taking its toll on his hips. As a result, we started letting him out through the front door instead, since our porch is much closer to the ground. This particular night, I was home alone with my dog, and it was around midnight when I decided to let him outside the last time before going to bed. I hook him up to his line, close the door, and lock it before heading to the kitchen to put away the dishes. This was pretty routine. Even if he used the bathroom quickly, he liked to walk along the front and side of our house for a few minutes before coming back inside. As I'm putting away the dishes, I hear a scratch on the door. That's how my dog signals he wants to come inside, so I'll head over to let him in. Since I've watched way too many scary movies, I always look through the door's peephole before opening the door. Out of the habit, I look to check that my dog is in front of the door. Instead, I see a man staring very intently at the door handle. I freeze with my hand on the door handle, and I don't know how much time went by, but then I heard another scratch. This one louder than the last. This kind of wakes me up from my initial shock, and I run and grab my cell phone. I call my husband and tell him what's happening. He was very confused. I probably wasn't explaining the situation very well, but he says that he's headed home. That's when I realize my dog is still outside with this person. I head back to the front door trying to make as little noise as possible to check if the stranger is still there. Just like before, he's standing there, head bowed, looking at the doorknob. I tiptoe over to the laundry room and slowly open the door as quietly as possible. I can't see my dog anywhere, and the side of my house is covered in gravel, so I knew I couldn't step outside without making a lot of noise. With my heart still pounding out of my chest, I go to the front door to keep an eye on the stranger and to get a better look at him. I considered calling the police, but I didn't feel like they'd take me seriously, since all the man was doing was standing in front of my house. I tried taking a picture of him with my cell phone, but my camera was only able to get a picture of the peephole and not the images behind the glass. All of a sudden, the man looks up and stares directly at me. I swear he knew I was there. He glares at me, then opens his mouth to show a taunting, malicious grin. He stood there that way for a few seconds. With that, he turned around and started to walk down the street. I stayed in the same place, almost expecting him to rush back and start pounding on the door. Luckily, my husband got back a few minutes later. Long story short, he convinced me to call the police, and we went looking for our dog. This man had cut the end of the line connected to the pipe, and our dog decided this was a good time for him to explore my neighbor's backyard, which was where we found him. It's been 3 years since this happened. We've since moved into a new house for unrelated reasons, and the police weren't able to come up with any suspects. Ever since, we take our dogs on a long walk before the sun goes down. The one thing I can't get out of my mind with this story was if it was posted on the No Sleep subreddit, there's a good chance it was good creative writing. It was fake. Somebody was just trying to scare you. The fact that this is on Let's Not Meet and they try to vet their post, and if somebody tries to falsify a post, they're normally called out in the comments. There's a chance that this dude is at my back door right now, making spooky noises. That's absolutely terrifying. The next post is also from 7 years ago. It was posted on the r/creepy subreddit, posted by a user called Fat and Depressed. This person started to get notifications from their smart home app in the middle of the night. Their doorbell was detecting a visitor. When they looked at the notifications on their phone and they saw the image, it was of this strange person standing at their door. This person looks like they were from the Purge movies for some reason. A woman with short hair is standing directly in front of this man's doorbell in what looks like in the middle of the night. This is one of my fears for when I get my video doorbell installed here soon. I don't want to see any creepy people outside of my house. Originally posted on r/whatisthisthing by a Redditor by the name of ShadyBusinesses15. The post is titled, "Violently blew a fuse in my extension cord, took it apart to see the damage, and found this inside." What followed was a series of 5 pictures of some strange looking technology that was inside this surge protector. Redditors banded together to investigate, and what they found was very suspicious. In the top upvoted reply, they replied, "It is a GPS tracker with cellular uplink, with a hyperlink to an Alibaba page selling a similar tracker." And there is an edit on this post to give a little bit of detail. As others have found, his link directed to the 900D unit, which does not have GPS. The 980D does. Looks like the seller here just copied and pasted the description. He goes on to say that, as another Redditor pointed out, there is a microphone, so this is definitely a covert listening device. For people asking for additional context on this post, the Redditor gave an update the day after. For those wondering what inspired me to open up the extension cord in the first place, I had to wait for maintenance to reset the fuse to my room, and it took them about 2 hours, so I wanted to see the extent of the damage. In regards to Redditors throwing out ideas that he had helicopter parents, he said that's still not ruled out, but he's not sure if anyone would be wanting to spy on him or his parents. He also removed the SIM card that was attached to the listening device and put it into his cell phone. Once he got in contact with whoever the manufacturer is where he could listen, he got an automated message that said, "The service is now closed, and if you have voicemail, you can turn it on." And he doesn't finish the sentence, but he said there's nothing interesting, and he didn't get the last number that called in. He called again and spoke to somebody directly, and they told him that they could not give him an incoming call log, that he would need a warrant. And he wants to know if there's another way to get that incoming call log. Seeing as though this is Reddit and we already know what to expect, OP did not deliver. If you can take any lesson from this video, please be vigilant. Be on the lookout if anything seems suspicious or strange. Make sure that you check when you come and bring your dog in. Make sure it's not a crazy guy at the door. Check your Ring doorbell alerts. Hopefully you don't have a creepy purge girl out there. And also, if you find a strange listening device inside your power strip, try to do a little more investigating. And if you post it online, make sure you deliver. Here soon in the future, we're going to do another video on a Redditor who was followed by the FBI. And thank you for tuning in to the other side.